There's a type of person who comes alive when everything falls apart. While others freeze, they move. While others panic, they focus. While the world crumbles, they build. You've seen them. Maybe you've wondered about them. Maybe you are one of them. But here's what no one tells you. Thriving in crisis isn't about being fearless. It's about something far more human than that. Something we all carry inside us, waiting. Think about the last time everything went wrong. A sudden loss, a financial crash, a relationship ending, a health scare. Do you remember that feeling? That moment when the ground disappeared beneath your feet? Most of us know that feeling. That punch to the chest, that racing heart, that voice in your head screaming for answers. But some people, they don't just survive those moments. They transform in them. They discover versions of themselves they never knew existed. They tap into reserves of strength that surprise even them. And the question isn't whether they're special or different or somehow superhuman. The question is, what do they know that the rest of us are still learning? Today, we're going inside the psychology of crisis resilience. We're exploring why some people not only survive when everything falls apart, but actually grow stronger because of it. This isn't a pep talk. This isn't motivational fluff. This is about understanding the hidden mechanics of the human mind under pressure. Before we go deeper, hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. Your engagement helps YouTube share this with others who need to hear it. And if something resonates with you today, leave a comment. I read every single one. Now let's begin. Here's what's strange about crisis. It reveals who you are while simultaneously changing who you are. It's both mirror and fire. You see yourself clearly, perhaps for the first time. And in that same moment, you're being transformed into someone new. Psychology has a name for people who thrive in crisis: post-traumatic growth. Not just survival, not just recovery, actual growth. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? That the worst moments of your life could make you stronger, wiser, more alive. But researchers have found that between 30 to 70% of people who face major trauma report positive psychological change afterward. Not despite the crisis, because of it. Think about that. More than half of people who walk through fire come out with something they didn't have before. A deeper sense of purpose, stronger relationships, a clearer understanding of what matters, a feeling of personal strength they never knew they possessed. But here's where it gets interesting. It's not the crisis itself that creates growth. It's how you meet it. Two people can face the exact same situation. One crumbles, one transforms. The difference isn't luck. It isn't genetics. It isn't privilege. The difference is in how they relate to the crisis unfolding around them. Let me tell you about meaning. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps. He lost everything. His family, his freedom, his manuscript, his entire life. And in that unimaginable darkness, he discovered something profound. The people who survived weren't necessarily the strongest or the healthiest or the most privileged. They were the ones who could find meaning in their suffering. Not happiness, not comfort, meaning. Frankl watched fellow prisoners give up and die within days. And he watched others endure years of horror and emerge with their humanity intact. The difference was meaning. One man found meaning in the thought of seeing his wife again. Another in the idea of finishing his life's work. Another in the simple act of helping a fellow prisoner. It didn't matter what the meaning was. It mattered that it existed. Frankl later wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." This is the first secret of people who thrive in crisis. They don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "What can I do with this?" They shift from victim to agent, from passive to active, from helpless to purposeful. And that shift changes everything. Because once you find meaning in chaos, the chaos no longer controls you. You're no longer drowning in the storm. You're learning to sail through it. This doesn't mean the pain goes away. It doesn't mean the crisis isn't real or devastating. It means you've found a way to carry it that doesn't break you. You've transformed suffering from something that happens to you into something you can work with. And that transformation is where growth begins. But meaning alone isn't enough. Because in the heart of crisis, when everything is falling apart, finding meaning can feel impossible. So what comes before meaning? What makes meaning possible in the first place? Your body is hardwired for survival. When crisis hits, your nervous system makes a split-second decision: fight, flight, or freeze. Your heart races, your muscles tense, your vision narrows, your thinking becomes rigid. This is the stress response, and it's designed to save your life. But here's the problem. That same response that helps you run from a predator, it doesn't help you navigate complex modern crises. Job loss, relationship breakdown, financial collapse, health diagnosis. These situations don't require you to run or fight. They require you to think, to adapt, to make wise decisions under pressure. And you can't do that when your nervous system is screaming danger. This is where people who thrive in crisis do something different. They've learned to regulate their nervous system, to stay calm when everything inside them wants to panic. It's not that they don't feel fear. They absolutely do. But they've trained themselves to feel fear without being controlled by it. Researchers call this emotional regulation, and it's one of the most powerful predictors of resilience. Think about the last time you panicked. Really panicked. Your thinking narrowed, didn't it? You couldn't see options, couldn't imagine solutions, couldn't access your own wisdom. Panic makes you stupid. It has to. That's its job. Because when you're running from a tiger, you don't need creativity or nuance or long-term thinking. You need speed. But modern crises require the opposite. They require your full intelligence, your capacity for complex problem solving, your ability to see beyond the immediate moment. And you can only access those abilities when you're calm. Not happy, not comfortable, calm. People who thrive in crisis have learned this. They've developed practices that help them return to calm even when their world is burning. Breath work, meditation, movement, connection, routine. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But when the crisis comes, these simple practices become lifelines. They're the difference between reacting and responding, between panic and purpose. So you've found meaning. You've cultivated calm. But there's still something missing. Something that separates those who merely survive from those who actually thrive. Carol Dweck spent decades studying how people respond to failure and challenge. She discovered something fascinating. Some people see their abilities as fixed. Either you're smart or you're not, strong or weak, capable or helpless. Others see their abilities as flexible, as things that can grow and change through effort and learning. She called these mindsets fixed and growth. And when crisis hits, your mindset determines almost everything about how you respond. A person with a fixed mindset looks at crisis and thinks, "This is too much for me. I'm not strong enough. I'm not capable enough. I'm going to fail." A person with a growth mindset looks at the same crisis and thinks, "This is hard. I don't know how to handle this yet. But I can learn. I can adapt. I can grow into someone who can handle this." Do you see the difference? It's not optimism versus pessimism. It's not positive thinking versus negative thinking. It's about whether you believe you can change. Because if you believe you can change, then crisis becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. Every challenge becomes information. Every failure becomes feedback. Every setback becomes an opportunity to develop new capabilities. This is why some people emerge from crisis with new skills, new perspectives, new strengths. They didn't just survive the crisis. They allowed the crisis to reshape them. Think about the most difficult period of your life. What did you learn? What capabilities did you develop that you didn't have before? Maybe you learned you were stronger than you thought. Maybe you discovered compassion you didn't know you had. Maybe you developed problem-solving skills that only emerged under pressure. Those weren't gifts. They were growths. Your crisis forced you to expand, to stretch, to become more than you were. And that's what people who thrive in crisis understand deeply. They know that who they are today isn't who they have to be tomorrow. They know that capacity is built, not born. They know that the person who enters the crisis and the person who exits it don't have to be the same. But here's what might surprise you. All of this, meaning and calm and growth mindset, still isn't the full picture. Because there's one more element, and it's the one we talk about least. No one thrives in crisis alone. Let me say that again, because we live in a culture that worships individual strength. No one thrives in crisis alone. The research is overwhelming on this point. Social support is one of the single strongest predictors of resilience. Not money, not intelligence, not even optimism. Connection. When psychologists study survivors of war, natural disasters, abuse, and trauma, they find the same pattern over and over. The people who do best aren't the ones who were strongest before the crisis. They're the ones who had people to lean on during and after it. Abraham Maslow put it in his hierarchy of needs. Right after physical survival comes belonging, connection, love. We're wired for it. We can't thrive without it. And yet, here's what happens in crisis for many people. They isolate. They hide. They convince themselves they need to be strong alone. They think asking for help is weakness. Showing vulnerability is failure. Needing others is shameful. And that isolation becomes a second crisis on top of the first one. Because when you face difficulty alone, it doesn't just feel harder. It actually becomes harder. Your perspective narrows. Your options seem limited. Your emotional resources deplete faster. But when you face difficulty with support, something shifts. You're reminded you're not alone. You gain perspective you couldn't access by yourself. You're held when you can't hold yourself. This isn't about being rescued. It's about being witnessed. There's profound power in having someone see your struggle and stay present with you in it. Not fix it, not solve it, just be there. People who thrive in crisis understand this. They reach out. They ask for help. They let themselves be supported. And paradoxically, this makes them stronger, not weaker. Because true strength isn't about never needing anyone. True strength is about knowing when to lean and who to lean on. Think about the helpers in your life. The ones who showed up when things fell apart. They didn't make the crisis go away, but they made it bearable. They reminded you of your worth when you forgot. They reflected back your strength when you couldn't see it. They sat with you in the dark until light returned. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. So we have meaning. We have calm. We have growth mindset. We have connection. But there's one final piece, and it might be the most important one of all. Here's the truth that changes everything. You don't choose the crisis, but you choose the response. Life will break you. That's not a maybe. That's a guarantee. Loss will come. Failure will come. Pain will come. Chaos will come. The only variable is how you meet it. And that meeting point, that moment of choice, is where your life is actually lived. Not in the good times. Not when everything is easy and comfortable and going according to plan. But in the moments when everything falls apart. That's when you discover who you actually are. And more importantly, who you want to become. Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Read that again. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. This is the ultimate secret of people who thrive in crisis. They understand that the crisis is not the end of their story. It's a chapter, a difficult, painful, transformative chapter, but still just a chapter. And they get to write what comes next, not by denying the pain, not by pretending the crisis didn't happen, not by toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing, but by choosing consciously and deliberately how they will respond. Will they become bitter or wise, closed or open, smaller or larger? The crisis doesn't determine that. They do. This is the deepest form of human freedom. The one thing no crisis can take away. The freedom to choose your response, to choose your meaning, to choose your growth. Viktor Frankl called it the last of human freedoms. The ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Everything can be taken from you. Everything. But not that choice. Never that choice. And when you really understand this, when you feel it in your bones, crisis transforms from something that happens to you into something you work with. You're no longer a victim of circumstance. You're a creator of meaning. The crisis doesn't make you. You make yourself through the crisis. So what does this actually look like in practice? When crisis comes, and it will come, you have a choice. You can ask, why is this happening to me? Or you can ask, what can I do with this? You can let your nervous system control you. Or you can practice returning to calm again and again. You can see yourself as fixed and incapable. Or you can see yourself as growing and learning. You can isolate in shame. Or you can reach out in courage. You can let the crisis define you. Or you can choose who you become through it. None of this is easy. None of it is instant. Thriving in crisis isn't about being perfect or fearless or unbreakable. It's about being human. Fully, completely human. With all your fear and doubt and vulnerability. And also with all your strength and wisdom and capacity for growth. The people who thrive in crisis aren't superhuman. They're deeply, courageously human. They feel the fear and move anyway. They acknowledge the pain and find meaning anyway. They recognize the difficulty and choose growth anyway. They understand something profound about what it means to be alive. That life is not about avoiding hardship. It's about meeting hardship with wisdom. That strength is not about never falling. It's about learning to rise. That resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you build, practice by practice, choice by choice, crisis by crisis. You already have everything you need to thrive in crisis. The capacity for meaning, the ability to calm yourself, the potential for growth, the courage to connect, the freedom to choose. These aren't special gifts. They're human capabilities. And they're already inside you, waiting for the moment when everything falls apart and you discover that falling apart is sometimes how we come back together, stronger than before. The next time crisis comes, and it will come, remember this. You are not broken. You are breaking open. You are not ending. You are transforming. You are not losing yourself. You are discovering yourself. The crisis is not your enemy. It's your teacher. And you, with all your beautiful human complexity, have everything you need to not just survive it, but to grow because of it. Not in spite of the darkness. Through it. Now I'm curious. Think about a crisis you've faced. What did it teach you? What strength did you discover that you didn't know you had? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your story, because your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this video resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share it with someone who might need this message. Your engagement helps YouTube share this with others who are facing their own crisis right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for choosing growth. I'll see you in the next one.